What is green economy?
Green economy is several things. It is actually the most important area that the economy must evolve into over the next few years, particularly the next few decades. And it is a economic system that is based on working harmoniously with nature. Okay. So you're doing your business as usual, but the difference will be whatever that business is, it must be in harmony with nature and it must be sustainable. Then there are, specific aspects like the one that you just highlighted, where there's a considerable amount of investment, and that is the solar energy, the provision of electricity from renewable sources, which are specifically the sunlight, the wind, and moving water. All those sources can produce tremendous amounts of energy. In fact, the amount of sunlight that hits the whole planet Earth in one day can power all our energy needs if we were able to tap it for a whole year. Yeah. So that is one of the most specific classic examples of green economy. But there's other examples as well. But the reality is, and this is, it's a bit of a difficult reality for people to comprehend, but it is a reality that if we do not transit to green economy, eventually we will have no economy. That's how important it is.
Fantastic. Let's talk about budgetary allocation in this sector, which you just vividly explained. Are you satisfied with the status quo?
Not at all. Not at all, at all, at all. And, I'm not trying to be overly critical. As I said earlier, it's a difficult concept to accommodate because it's new. This is a new era that humanity, not just Nigeria or Africa, but this is a new era that humanity has come into. There's a lot of things that are going on now that are unprecedented. The most obvious example is the heating of the atmosphere. 2023 is going to go down as the hottest year ever experienced by humanity on this earth. And just a few years ago, that was the hottest year. In fact, in the last 10 years, we've had the last 5 hottest years. And we were warned about this by the meteorologists, by the scientists, by NASA Space Agency. They said, look, if we continue doing what we're doing to the environment, if we continue doing non-green economy activity in the environment and causing the damage that we're causing, this is exactly what's going to happen. And once, again, a lot of people might not be able to comprehend, okay, well, okay, so it's the hottest year. It's not that bad. We've got air conditioning, we've got fans and everything. What they have to appreciate is that this Earth, this planet Earth, which, by the way, it's the only one out of the millions of planets that have now been observed that has the capacity to support life. So this very special planet Earth, with its incredibly complex blend of atmospheric gases that keeps it at a specific average temperature throughout the years. It varies a little bit, but not too much, creating against the environment, which is our life support system, okay? A healthy environment, then you have a healthy life support. You have a deteriorated environment, you have a deteriorated life support. So what we're doing is we're causing far too much damage, and it's unprecedented. It's never been like this before. 100 years ago, 500 years ago, you could do what you want, There was loads and loads of capacity for the environment to sustain us. But with our tremendous technological advancement, incredible technology that I can be here and you're over there, and we're communicating like this, and all over the world, people are watching this wonderful station. Yeah, with the technological environment and the population explosion, the demand against nature has become very, very tremendous. But we haven't been doing it in a sustainable manner. And that's what the green economy is all about. So there needs to be far more investment. We need to push ourselves in that direction. Government needs to encourage us. The big corporate entities definitely need to invest in green economy, and it can be highly profitable. That's the beautiful thing. It's a win-win situation. And again, I have to emphasize, if we don't develop the green economy rapidly, eventually we shall have no economy. You know, as one young person said, a very, very young person said this very, very wise expression that what value is money on a dead planet? And just look around you, and this is what we're creating right now. We're creating the possibility of our planet not being able to sustain human life. So green economy, more investment all the way. Thank you.
What value is money on a dead planet? That is some serious food for thought, if you ask me. So you said government is not doing enough. I'd like for you to make recommendations, seeing as you've got ties with the Nigerian Conservation Foundation. But this is what I want to pose to you, right? In other climes, you see talks about the environment playing major roles in the campaign strategies of politicians. We don't really see that here in Nigeria. What do we do to ensure that things of the environment is going to be taken very, very seriously by both government and the people?
Yeah, this is very, very important. It's essential. And well, we just better start to ask certain questions. And one of the most fundamental questions I like to ask, because we have a lot of visitors to our park, the Conservation Foundation and the Lufasi Park here in Aja. We have a lot of visitors, young people particularly. And I like to sort of reorientate our consciousness away from just looking on environment as trees and nice atmosphere, whatever. No, the environment is our life support system, and there's a very, very simple test to prove how much of a life support system it is. Because I am challenging anybody who is listening and watching it. Can you hold your breath for 10 minutes? You can't. It's not possible. Because you need oxygen. And where does the oxygen come from? Every one of the green leaves that you see in the trees and in the grass and in the shrubs are producing oxygen for you, as well as absorbing your carbon dioxide, a wonderful cycle. You see, nature is practicing this green economy, which is sustainable cycle, taking what another entity doesn't need and converting it into something that what that entity needs and giving it back. It's cycle, it's cyclical, it's harmonious. Yes. And this is where we really, really need to sensitize ourselves and tell ourselves, people, this thing that has maintained humanity for eons and eons, it will no longer be able to do that effectively if we ourselves don't transform, don't have a renewal of our minds. There's one very fundamental injunction that is in every one of the major scriptures that is worthy of being called a scripture. It's there in the Holy Bible, it's there in the Holy Quran, it's there in the Judas Sutras, it's there in the Bhagavad Gita, it's there. And this is the injunction or the reminder that God is not mocked. Whatsoever you sow, you shall reap. It's simple. Come on, for God's sake. You plant cassava, you're not going to harvest cocoyam. And if you think that you are, then you're somebody who will actually say, well, 2 + 2 isn't 4. And that means you need therapy. Wake up to the realities. You cannot continue to sow these destructive activities into your very life support system, which is what nature is. Yes, we said it earlier. 10 minutes and you don't get the oxygen that nature provides, you're out of here. Aha. So we have to reorientate our minds and start focusing on the realities of tomorrow. At least for our children's sake. For our children's sake. And I am hopeful because all of us love children, particularly our own children. And we have to admonish the leaders, we have to admonish the decision makers that now we have a responsibility to ensure that we transit into this green economy. And you ask for examples, wonderful examples, sustainable agriculture. And that's particularly good for Nigeria. There's a reason why, Vivian, our flag is green, white, green. Oh, we have tremendous potential as an agricultural nation. We were an agricultural nation. Nigeria launched herself as an agricultural nation. So we need to go back to that, but in a more sustainable fashion, in a green kind of fashion, that is using organic fertilizers, using small machineries if necessary, being careful with our irrigation systems. There's ways to do agriculture which is sustainable. And we can learn quite a bit from our forefathers because they were doing pretty sustainable agriculture. And then, of course, the clean energy transition. Yes, that is a wonderful, wonderful way to ensure that you get a very, very good income, but also providing essential energy to people at a more reasonable rate. Yes, and then there's the waste. Waste, yes, waste to wealth. Some people are practicing it now. We're very happy to see that, especially with the plastics and the recycling of plastic products and the upcycling of plastic. We're very, very, very happy to see that. But it goes further than that. And I heard that in Lagos State, they're really looking at that very, very seriously. Even in Ogun State, there's some pretty advanced people in charge of the ministries of environment in both those states. They're looking at even producing energy from the waste, which is another very, very good green economy system. So the challenge I'm going to put out to you, Vivian, I hope you are doing separation of your waste in your household, because that's where it starts with each and every one of us. Are you separating your waste?
$1 million question, right? We are doing our best, actually. So I'll put this question to you finally, and then I'll have you wrap this up. So in other climes, there's been, the creation of something like infrastructure, climate, and nature fund, which it takes a major stage when it comes to budgetary allocation. Would you like to see this replicated in Nigeria? And then what else would you like to see, though, as we wrap this up?
Yes, definitely. The green bonds are very viable activity to embark upon. Producing and providing green bonds, it encourages people to start doing the green economy. We have started it in a small way here in Nigeria, and we could definitely embark on that more. And it's something that we need to put across to the financial institutions. They need to now get involved in this. They need to. And whilst they might think, okay, maybe it's a bit riskier, it's not really if it's done well, if it's supervised effectively, where the bond might be invested in, what project are you going to be doing? Can we bring in some expertise into the supervision of that project for its actualization? Yes, the financial institutions, they have a role to play here. They need to ensure that green bonds are brought out, that investment is put into viable green economy activities, and then stop investing in things that are damaging to the environment. Say, look, hey, I'm sorry, but this particular project you're doing, it is dangerous, it is deadly to the environment. We cannot invest in it, even though it might be profitable. You know what they say, the love and the pursuit of too much wealth is the root of all evil. I mean, this is how the armed robber justifies shooting somebody to get the money. So how do you justify destroying the environment just to get some profit? So we need to reorientate ourselves, particularly the leadership. It's a huge responsibility. And again, remember, what you sow is what you reap. So we pray that you shall sow a good thing, a good seed, and reap a good reward of blessing and clean green economy.